Well, many of us know that social media allows us to reach out and touch someone, to stay connected, and to find long-lost friends. Not to mention, it's actually an essential business tool as well. And Comcast's Chris Dunkeson is going to be here with us today, as we are always happy to say, with a few rules to make social media fun, but also safe. So good morning, Chris.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for being back here.
Absolutely.
Always such valuable information, protecting our safety and also teaching us great ways to stay in touch with people. So let's first talk about how many different forms of social media are actually available these days.
You know what? There's hundreds of forms today. There are so many examples out there. You've got Twitter, Facebook, Google+, geocoding location services. There's a lot of stuff out there now.
And they're becoming a way of life, really. I mean, some of them more popular than others. Which are you finding to be the most popular?
Well, certainly Facebook is probably leading it right now, but then you've got Twitter and Google+ who are also doing that as well. So a lot happening.
Is Google+ just doing a lot now on the backlash of all the people complaining of all the changes from Facebook?
I think they're really taking advantage of that. A lot of opportunity there, and a lot of people are moving that direction.
Absolutely. Well, now that we're moving in that direction and we're using social media as our daily lifestyle, how can we use it more efficiently?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is to trim out the things you don't want to see.
Okay.
Now, there are certainly a lot of information on Twitter, but don't set your account up to where it automatically follows back the people who follow you. You're going to get a lot of advertisements, a lot of people trying to sell you stuff, and that may not be what you're looking for from social media.
Good point. See, because I didn't know how you can differentiate from the different medias without them kind of tagging on each other. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And actually, there's something called a hashtag, right?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Hashtags, you put the pound symbol before it, and that way it's something that's searchable. And if you on Twitter, you can use a program like TweetDeck where you can actually follow. So, like for the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta, they're using 40th Fiesta this year.
Okay.
So you can set TweetDeck up to show every tweet that has 40th Fiesta in there.
What a great idea.
Yeah, and you can really make it an efficient way to get information.
I think you might need to help me with that since I'm going to be live all week next week.
Happy to help with that.
We'll do that after the show. Now, okay, let me get back to talking about the social media bringing people together, because I know we've all found a lot of long-lost friends, and, you know, we want to stay in touch with some people, and we want to reach out and touch a few friends, but not everybody, right?
Yeah, and there again, it's about being selective about who you friend. And then there are some folks that you may have that are relatives that you're not all excited about hearing about what they're doing. It's okay to hide them on Facebook. They won't appear in your stream. They don't know that you've hidden them, and you're still friends with them. And that'll make your social media experience a lot more efficient.
So you're not really alienating people that they know of.
That's exactly right.
Okay, well now let's talk about something else as well, because I was wondering, what does Foursquare mean? I know that's a terminology that's being used.
Foursquare is a system of social media that's being used that's based on your location.
Okay.
So you can use your mobile phone to check in at different businesses and at your home. You get points for checking in more often at different locations. Some retailers will give you discounts for being the mayor who's checked in the most times.
You're kidding.
It's really a neat program, but you also want to be careful, because you don't want to be checking in at home, because it lets everyone know that you're at home and where your home is.
Well, that's the thing. I don't see I never enable check into places because I feel very uncomfortable with people knowing where I am at all times.
Yeah.
It's a little
And I
shady.
think that's good advice. Now, you know, if you're standing at the edge of the Grand Canyon, you want to publish that, that's great. People are interested in that.
Right.
If you're at Starbucks, they're probably not as interested.
Good point. Well, you know, and parents are very concerned, I think, about being able to manage their kids' media activity, because when kids get on social media, they do that. I'm at Starbucks, I'm here, I'm there. And it's not a good thing, is it?
No, it's really not. I think kids need to be more careful, because the generation has changed. They're much more open about what they're doing.
Right.
My advice to parents is make sure you're friends with your kids on social media and that you have their passwords. You know,
Very smart.
I pay for the internet. I get to set the rules. So.
I like that. Set those standards in the family, because at the end of the day, they are paying for it.
That's exactly right.
It's a very good point. And I think there's a really important message to the children from the parents, to let them know that, you know, the world doesn't have to know every piece of your business, because it's not a safe thing.
That's right. That's important. There's a lot of great things about social media, and there's some dangerous things.
Yeah.
So if we manage it carefully, it can be really effective, efficient, and fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, speaking of safety, we've talked a lot about passwords before. So what I want to do is have you give back some of that really good advice you've given us before that's worth repeating about your passwords and how to set the right password.
Sure. Well, the main thing is make your password something that someone can't guess. Don't use your birthday, your pets' names, your kids' names. Throw in a couple capital letters. numbers, and then don't share your password and make them different for different services. That way, if one thing gets compromised, you don't lose all your banking information.
And that happens a lot.
It does happen.
It happens a lot. And you know, you were just mentioning about Balloon Fiesta, and with it starting tomorrow, lots of people are going to be using social media applications. So tell us about how you think it will be used and what's the best way for us to use it.
Well, the Balloon Fiesta is actually doing a great job this year reaching out to guests and visitors. On Twitter, they're Balloon Fiesta, clever name. And then you can use the hashtag 40th Fiesta to see exactly what's going on. They're going to give weather updates, traffic updates. They're going to post interesting pictures and some interviews. And then they're on Facebook at Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. So you can go there, like that page, and know what's going on real time.
That's fantastic. I love that idea. And I want to go back also to Facebook real quick because we were talking about the changes. Now that they're giving us all these different lists of how we can categorize our friends and the people, do you have any recommendations for making that simplified?
I really do. Go in and make sure that your photos and your comments are set to be viewed by friends only.
Okay.
Because if you got it set to be viewed by friends of friends, that group gets enormous. You can have thousands of people commenting and looking at your photos, knowing what you're doing and what your plans are this weekend.
That's such a good point. I will take that advice for sure. And we want to remind all our viewers about the technology services that Comcast offers.
Yeah, we've got ultra high-speed internet. We've got Comcast digital voice telephone as well as video service. We offer virus protection. And then if you want safety tips, go to Comcast.net, and there's a lot of information there as well.
Fantastic. And of course, let's remind our viewers how they can find you and reach you if they need anything. Oh, I'm dropping bracelets while I'm talking.
Sure, they can come by either of our service centers in Albuquerque or across the state, or give us a call at 800-266-2278. And
of course, you can always go to Comcast.com. And a lot of good shows on demand, by the way.
There's a lot of good stuff on demand.
Bridesmaids out on demand now.
Yep, very popular.
I have to find some free time this weekend to watch it. And thank you so much for being with us. Great advice, and we'll have you give us some good safety tips throughout Balloon Fiesta.
Well, thank you. We'll see you at the field next week.
Yes, you certainly will. Thanks, Chris.